Hey everyone, I'm Tassenix and welcome back to another mod guide. This time we're covering Second Sister. We're going to be wrapping up the Inquisitorius faction with this one, and it's fitting because I think even though she was the first of the Inquisitorius to be released, it's ended up that she's pretty much the least of them. We'll go over why. She doesn't have a terrible kit, but when we look at it in context for her whole team, she's usually not going to make the cut for your 5-man squad. That being said, if you are going to be running her, for the most part, you'd be doing so under Riva's leadership. She is the best Inquisitorius lead for Grand Arena, so we'll go ahead and review that leadership real quick. Third Sister's leadership harbored aggression. Inquisitorius allies have plus 40% max health, 20% offense, 30 speed, and are immune to stun. At encounter start and whenever an Inquisitorius ally or enemy dies, all enemies are inflicted with 5 stacks of Purge, maximum of 6, which cannot be resisted. Inquisitorius allies always crit against enemies with 5+ stacks of Purge. And when enemies recover protection or gain protection up, all enemies lose 2% defense, stacking, maximum of 50% until the end of the encounter. The Omicron ability says whenever an ally or an enemy dies, all Inquisitorius gain defense penetration up for 2 turns. And whenever Purge is dispelled during an enemy's turn, that character, excluding Galactic Legends, gains Deathmark for 2 turns, which can't be dispelled or resisted. So yeah, as an attacker herself, she'll be looking to be hitting people that have 5+ stacks of Purge to get that critical damage bonus, right? Alright, let's jump into her kit, starting with Patience. At the start of battle, if all allies, minimum of 3, are Inquisitorius, this character gains 20% max health, max protection, and potency. While an ally is marked, they have plus 35% defense. Whenever an enemy damages this character with an attack while attacking out of turn, that enemy gains a stack of Purge, maximum of 6, which can't be evaded or resisted. Whenever Purge is consumed or dispelled on an enemy, this character gains 3% turn meter. Her next unique, everyone is expendable. Second Sister gains 50% critical damage. Yikes. Her special abilities can't be evaded when attacking an enemy with 1 or more stacks of Purge. Whenever an enemy or Empire ally is defeated, Second Sister gains bonuses for the rest of the encounter. First enemy or Empire ally defeated, plus 35 speed. Second enemy or Empire ally, plus 100% defense penetration. And third enemy or Empire ally, plus 50% critical damage, right? And she already has plus 50% granted as a base effect in this unique. Pretty serious. So yeah, as the fight progresses, and it's either progressing well for you or poorly for you, she's going to get stronger, all right? Let's go to her basic. So much fear. Deal special damage to target enemy and inflict 1 stack of Purge, stacking, maximum of 6 if target enemy is a Jedi, which can't be resisted. Additionally, this attack has a 30% chance to inflict 1 stack of Purge to target enemy, which can't be resisted. And this is the first character released in the faction, so that's why we actually have her definition for Purge given on this one. All it is just a counter, because other abilities depend on how many stacks of Purge you have. Alright, her first special, Shall I End This? Deal special damage to target enemy. This ability has plus 150% defense penetration if target enemy is inflicted with Purge, any Purge at all. This ability has plus 100% critical chance and plus 50% critical damage. So, historically, characters that are dealing special damage usually have very low special crit chance. And so it's quite an undertaking, mods-wise, to make sure that you can get a reliably high chance to crit. You'd figure like 65% would be kind of like the floor. I'd like to shoot for something like 70% critical chance on special critical chance on most special attackers. But you get some leeway here, because this ability is definitely her strongest attack, and you don't really have to worry about crit chance so long as the enemy has any Purge at all, which should be pretty easy to do. Alright, next special, Can't Run Forever. Consume up to 5 stacks of Purge. If any stacks of Purge were consumed, grant Second Sister critical damage up for 2 turns, and this ability has a 50% chance to stun for 1 turn. If 5 stacks of Purge were consumed, the stun target enemy for 1 turn which cannot be resisted. For each stack of Purge consumed, remove 20% turn meter from target enemy, so up to 100% with 5 stacks. And Second Sister gains 10% turn meter, that is per stack, so up to 50%. And this effect can't be evaded. Deal special damage to target enemy. So it's funny, all these other manipulation effects come first, and at the very end, by the way, deal special damage. So it's okay. It's, you know, it buffs her up. You could use this ability just ahead of Shall I End This, so that you have this critical damage up going into your biggest hit. It's not a terrible plan, because you could, you know, crowd control somebody and then smack someone else. Good way to go. Now, I just realized that when I recorded the 8th Brother video, I didn't cover his lead, and that's kind of okay, because you're really not going to be using it. Likewise, the same with Second Sister. The fact is that in Grand Arena, the best lead is going to be Riva, followed by Grand Inquisitor, followed by 5th Brother. The other leaderships have effects in Territory Wars, but even these, like for all of the rest of the Night Sisters, they're going to be inferior to using Grand Inquisitor, particularly because he has Omicron effects for TW. So, yeah, her leadership, it exists, but it really doesn't merit comment because it is vastly inferior to any of the other options. So I don't even think I'm going to cover that. Let's dig into team comps and turn order. So, like I was saying at the start of the video, it's not that her kit is bad. It's that compared to the rest of the Inquisitorius, she really just brings the least to the table. It's just a single, you know, crowd control ability maybe, and then one big hit. And then it's just waiting to get around to that big hit again, right? So maybe in 3s you would use her as a split, like I'm showing here. Like these bottom 2 3 versus 3 teams are shown assuming that you didn't have Third Sister. You know, you might do a division like this. All these teams, by the way, are shown in terms of their desired turn order. So it would be like Grand Inquisitor lead with 7th and 9th. And then you might have 5th Brother with 8th and 2nd, something like that. But she's really not going to be getting most of her use in squads. What is important, though, is that she is the pilot for the TIE Interceptor, which is a big part of that Empire fleet. You can use that to great effect versus Negotiator in particular, because you're able to dispel the enemies, make sure that you're tracking the right Jedi ships and go after them. So that's usually the case why most people have her in high relics and full 6-dot mods, is for the sake of her as a pilot. That said, yeah, you can see here in these 5 versus 5 compositions, with or without Riva, I haven't included her. I just don't think she makes the cut. She's okay, she's just not good enough. Alright. Now we can jump into her mods. I'm going to just show you Aesop Rock's mods, because mine are fairly similar, but his are better. Just straight up better. He's got just better cut of the same mods on. So let me just go ahead and throw that up on screen. So we can kind of see that with that crit damage baked into her, the stacking crit damage effect from her unique, the fact that if you were to use her under Riva, as long as she's hitting somebody with 5+ stacks of Purge, she's critting anyway. We definitely want a crit damage triangle, even if we can't necessarily stack a high amount of special crit chance on her. We've just got the right preconditions to make use of that. As far as your set types, yeah, offense we have a strong synergy for. And, you know, ideally you would have an offense cross. If you could afford it, a fast offense arrow, primary arrow, would be even more ideal. But depending on where you're wanting to use her in your team, you could, you know, go with speed just fine, because it's very expensive to use a fast offense arrow here. You probably have better characters wanting it than her. Like I said, she just isn't getting applied a whole ton in squads. That said, though, like the other non-Riva members of this team, we do want her to have the protection circle so that she has both the highest life total for herself and the most life total to be shared out and evened out by Grand Inquisitor's middle ability. Yeah, so that said, you know, as far as her turn order goes, if I were to be using her in the 5-man team, I guess I would just want to make sure she's after Fifth Brother, right? Because Riva gets rid of, ideally, the tank taunt, and then Fifth Brother is going to take the buffs off of everybody, which means they should be in a pretty solid spot to get their shit slapped, so to speak, by Second Sister. So that's where I might have her clocked, and so if you need to do that in a speed arrow, do so. If you could do that in an offense primary arrow, even better. So that comment about turn order and speed aside, stack offense, over crit chance, over protection, something like that. I'd say that's about it. And now we come down here and take a look at this. This is a Relic, what? Yeah, Relic 8, like mine. So he hasn't Relic 9, this character. But yeah, almost 13,500 special offense at Relic 8. You figure you could take off something like, I don't know, 800 or so, maybe something closer off towards, you know, mid 12,000s, something like that at Relic 7. You might get that idea, but yeah, you're wanting to just stack her up as high as possible and just let her fly with those couple of attacks that she's got. Last but never least, applications. Guys, it's gonna not surprise you, given what I said, that when I sort for team comps in 5 vs 5 and 3 vs 3 that features Second Sister on it, it's vanishingly rare and only ever being seen with Grand Inquisitor lead. Let me double check that. So this is second view battles. Yeah, there you are. We'll go ahead and assume that maybe you're going to use like this composition, which means you have a tank. So we'll take a look at some of these battles here. 5 vs 5, you can use this effectively to fight weaker Finn teams, weaker Qui-Gons, lesser... Okay, you can go after Kelleran with this. Kelleran's a good fight. That's actually good value. So basically, under Grand Inquisitor lead, you're still able to go after like non-galactic Legend Jedi teams, I guess like a C team like this First Order. The impression that you should be getting as I'm scrolling down the pages, you have kind of a level of Inquisitor's team if you're putting her in here, because basically, if you have Riva, she just doesn't fit. Yeah, you're just stomping on Mon Mothma, Geos, Qui-Gon, all this kind of thing, right? And then I did sort the same here for 3 vs 3. Let's go ahead and assume, see, you got your best win rate scenario under Grand Inquisitor. Again, that makes sense, because if you're using Riva, probably not Second Sister with that. Nice. Grand Inquisitor, 7th Sister, and 2nd Sister go Rex Crex 5s just fine. That is a meta defense team in 3 vs 3. I like that. Phoenix is less common to see. A weak Kelleran. Qui-Gon, yep, that still works. Wow, yeah, Ewoks, I'm not surprised there. Padme, but no Datacron. Yeah, you see, this is... People are using this to just stomp on basically Qui-Gon and Boo-Boo teams. All right. And this just goes back to the point that her kit is, it isn't terrible. It's just not competitive with her teammates. The other attackers on the team do way more. So, all right, guys. That about brings us to the end of this video, and it does wrap up the Inquisitorius series. I'll be thinking on the next faction that I'll go into. Happy to hear your suggestions. Leave a comment. Get at me on Discord. You know, the link to my Discord is always in the channel info, so you'll be able to find me. But yeah, if you liked this video, please give a like and, hit subscribe so that you're informed about anything else coming out from my channel. And as always, thank you for watching, and until next time, it's been real, it's been awesome, it's been real awesome. Take care.